The buyout on April 9th was lowered to 1.5 million and the current offer was 1 million. He then tweets out today, sold. Let me start with where it all began. This AKK Sarden StatTrak Factory News 661 #1 scar pattern paint seed was registered 4 months ago. This right here. For years and years and years, people had claimed it's worth 2 million, it's worth 1.5 million. I always said it was about 1.5 million. Definitely the most expensive AK skin in the game. Not more expensive than the Karambit, because I think the Karambit just ultimately is more rare. It's a 1 in 800 million, whereas this is only a 1 in 20 million chance to unbox. Then you can 1 in 2,000 it from a trade up as well, from a $3,000 trade up. So it's not as rare as the Karambit, and to me, I would say the Karambit is more expensive. But we didn't know it existed for 10 years. Everyone thought, okay, this is the best one, the minimal wear 0.09 float. And as it turns out, this has existed since 2014/2015. And it was owned by one dude. One guy. And how did he get it? He didn't trade up to it. He didn't unbox it. He bought it for market price in 2015. So I guess there was another guy right before him who unboxed it, then instantly sell it because he didn't know that blue was worth anything. He sold it for market price. Let's say $100. The fella bought it. I don't know what his name is. Nobody even knows who he is. He bought it, held it for 10 years, and didn't know, he was none the wiser that it was worth anything, okay? He thought it was maybe just, you know, $1,000, a couple thousand. It's a nice blue pattern. Until he saw Raffle Monster and ohnePixel doing 661 AKK Sarden trade-ups on his stream.
Chat,
So
we're doing scar pattern trade-ups.
Okay, these are all double
For
zeros.
chance for the $1 million AK.
They are
800K
tradable.
AK.
Okay, let's go, let's go. Okay, perfect.
Okay,
Yeah,
chat. This is $700 in one click.
someone-
He has $35,000 prepared for
reading my
trade-ups,
chat now.
chat. We're gonna do
Just
that
watch Oni.
now.
It's cool.
This was maybe 5 months ago. Because Raffle did some trade-ups with ohnePixel. Alright? The Voss guy, the German fella. The guy who owned this for 10 years didn't know that it was worth a lot of money. I swear to God. I swear. He had no clue. Until he heard Oni saying, Voss, this is worth 1.5 mil. So he said, hey, Raffle, because they used to do deals back in the day. Obviously, I used to watch Raffle back in the day in 2015, 2016. So they used to, you know, they used to sell skins back and forth, blah, blah, blah. So he said, yo, Raffle, can you sell this skin for me? Please, help me out. So he gives it to Raffle. It gets registered, and we find out 10 years later that the most expensive AK skin in the game and second most expensive skin in the game actually does exist. Now, today, we do not know the exact price that it sold for, but the buyout was 1.5 million freedom bucks right here. The buyout on April 9th was lowered to 1.5 million and the current offer was 1 million. He then tweets out today, sold. As much as I can confirm is that it sold for over the price of $1 million. That's as much as I've been told. That's as much as I can say. It has been sold for over $1 million, which, if my calculations are correct, that makes it the most expensive CS sale of all time. Of course, we had a, I believe, $700,000 or $800,000 sale, which was an Op Dragon Lore with 4x Titan Hollow. And then I believe it was an AKK Sarden with 4x Titan Hollow as well. I would have to double check that, but I believe it was about $700,000 to $800,000. And as it turns out, we actually we actually saw this came out today. The guy who did that purchase was in an internet cafe showing off his new his old pickups. This was the previous most expensive sale in the history of Counter-Strike right here. Let's see what he's saying. Pretty expensive inventory, just showing off a quick milli, you know? Nothing too crazy. But now this takes the cake as the most expensive AK in the game. I don't know if I'm allowed to leak this, but actually maybe I shouldn't say it. Should I just say it? Okay. We might have to delete the VOD, but the guy who bought this today was interested in the 4X Titan Hollow version, minimal wear, which arises my suspicions, maybe making me think that he might apply 4x Titan Hollows onto this, which would be another $200,000. Let's say he paid 1.1 mil or 1.2 mil, because I do know that it's north of $1 million. That would knock it up to a $1.3 to $1.4 million AK case harden with 4 Titan Hollows applied. Dare I even say he applies 5? Because that's a thing that we can now do. We can cover up the scar. 5 of them, 4 of them on the body, 1 on the wood. I have no idea who sold it. I have no idea who bought it. I'm just as clueless as you guys. If I knew, I wouldn't say anyways, but I feel like we'll probably find out eventually. Because I think if you're buying something for $1 million, you're probably going to want to flex it, you know? But we'll find out. We'll find out, surely. Will we know in 10 days? If it's not a private inventory, maybe. Maybe. But we just don't know yet. Did I buy it? I can't say. Listen, guys. I really and no, it was... Okay. A lot of people have been suspecting the reason why it sold today was because of this. Trainwrecks is doing an 850 weapon case 1 unboxing today. In just a couple hours. Hunting for the $1 million AK661. But this deal was being worked on for many, many months, obviously. It was just really unique timing that it happened to sell today. It was not a panic sell. Guys, the chances of Train unboxing an AK661 StatTrak Factory New on paper is 1 in 20 million chance per case. But realistically, it's a 50-50. I kid. But yeah, it was not a panic sell. What's more likely, the reason why he would have sold it, rather than the Train unboxing that's going to be happening today, is this fella named Megalodon right here. This guy. Doesn't look too assuming, just looking at his profile. You see, you know, he's British, and that's the only bad thing that you see here, right? But then we take a look at his inventory, and immediately, what pops out at us? A couple StatTrak Factory New AK case hardens, right? Now, what could those be the result of? Well, this guy is a mega rich. So he's been doing this exact trade up right here. 5 dragon tattoos, 5 hypnotics. How expensive is this? $1,500 to $1,600 to $1,700. How many times has he done this trade up? I kid you not. 80 times. 80 times. Let's go on the lower end and say 1,500 bucks. Let me pull out my calc. 1,500 times 80. He has spent $120,000 trying to farm, trying to create this. By the way, it's a 1 in 4,000 chance for him to hit this trade up at a 25% odd, which is what the odds are here. 25%. It's a 1 in 4,000. 1 in 4 to hit the AK, then a 1 in 1,000 to hit the right pattern, which is the 661, which is the one that he wants. All right? So, let's say he gets extremely unlucky, and it takes the 4,000 times. He will be spending $6 million if the averages are correct to get the AK case hardened 661 StatTrak Factory New. It would have just been cheaper. I mean, it would be cheaper for him to just outright buy it, right? But he's not the guy who bought it. As far as I'm aware, he's not the guy who bought it. I believe he would rather just create it himself. If the dude who purchased the one that Raffle had gets extremely unlucky today with Trainwreck's unboxing or with Megalodon continuing to do trade-ups, if he gets extremely unlucky, I think that AK goes down to like 800k, to like 900k, something like that. Make sure to subscribe.